The Chief Consultant Epidemiologist at the Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. Godwin Ntadom, takes us through what is expected of us as a lockdown is relaxed by the federal government. Dr. Ntadom, you're welcome to Dateline Abuja.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So we listened to the president's broadcast where he announced that there would be, partial lifting of the lockdown. He would ease the lockdown. What would you say, is this the best response to this now, this easing of the lockdown at this point?
Yeah, one thing that is very important, that this is a country. It's not only the health system that is running. There are so many other systems that are running. And whenever you are thinking, you have to balance things. If you view different opinion, somebody in the public sector, somebody who is working for government, or we say, oh, it's okay, there's no problem. But you look at it in a different way. There are so many people who are not working. For the government, they form the large majority. They form the majority. And there's a limit to which you can keep them not working. You understand? So these are some of the challenges you try to balance the whole situation. If we continue to lock down, for how long? Because the situation is not abating yet. There's still a gradual increase in the cases we are receiving. We are having. Does it mean that we continue to lock down forever? No. So we have to really create a balance where you can still continue to do your work, but observing the best, the best safety precautions you can take and continue to work so that one does not suffer for the other. More people are getting infected, more people are coming down, and when you begin to get more people getting infected, transmission will continue to increase. And that is where the individuals matter in this issue. It will not go down. Government has put its own measure. Structure is on ground to manage sick individuals, infected individuals. But again, it is better for the system when fewer people are being infected.
So, because the thing is this: when the lockdown is lifted partially from next week, we're going to see more people begin to come out of their houses and go about their daily living, and then lots of these people will be entering, commercial buses. We had this discussion before the interview. How do we manage this, particularly in populated cities like Lagos?
It's now clear. We know some things about the virus. One of them is that it is transmitted, through aerosols, and through touch. When you touch an area that the virus has already been deposited, and so with all these facts, it now becomes a kind of individual efforts. You have to observe all the precautionary measures. One of them is wearing face masks, ensuring you wash your hands regularly, use sanitizer, maintain social distance. That the lockdown has been partially lifted does not mean that the diseases are no longer there.
I want you to walk me through, it's a scenario. Let's paint a scenario. So I'm going to work in the morning. I'm going to enter into a commercial bus. That is the only way I can get to my office or my store or wherever I do business. How do I go about it to ensure that I do not contract COVID-19? Or even if I've contracted it and I'm asymptomatic, do not transfer it to people in the bus. So how do I go about it?
I think one scenario is this: if you have the resources, instead of 4 people being there in that vehicle, 2 of you can agree to pay for the additional number of people. That is for the first level of individuals. Then for the others, you have to ensure that you don't go beyond the normal. It's difficult, really, because the commercial vehicle driver is equally considering. You know, he
Yes.
has to
And
buy
it's not your
fuel.
call on how
Ye-
many people he can carry.
Yes,
So how do you protect yourself? Because you are more or less at the mercy of this bus drivers.
absolutely. It is now the individuals that will come together and say, no, there's problem, so we need to be 3 here, or we're not more than 3 in a row. So that will help in a way. But the most important thing, if you think it is that thing you are going out for is not that important, it is better to stay indoor. It is better to stay indoor. And again, when one individual in a family goes out and comes back, he stands the risk of infecting everybody that has that is staying behind. So you have to look at it. It's really a challenging period, but I think the president has made a pronouncement that we can go out. But again, I think it makes a lot of sense if you feel the reason for which you are going out is not that, absolutely necessary. Stay indoor. It's going to pass. It's a matter of time. Along the line, most people will get transiently infected. They develop some immunity. That is some infection, the load of infection that is not enough to give them infection. And with that, your body will develop some immunity. And over time, it may cease to be a major public health issue. And along the line also, vaccines. It is possible to have vaccines. And so these are some of but no pandemic has lasted forever.
You talked about vaccine. I'm wondering, should Nigeria not be looking inward? Because we seem to be hinging our hope for getting the vaccine from other countries. Should Nigeria at this time not be looking inward to also see how we can come up with a vaccine for COVID-19 and even explore? Some people have said they have had solutions, they've had drugs to deal with it in Nigeria. And it appears that the federal government is not looking into these people. What is happening?
Oh no, I must tell you, this COVID-19 infection has brought all stakeholders together. A lot is going on the ground. The Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, Nigeria Pharmaceutical Research and Development, the NIPRID, NIMA, NAFDAC, everybody is involved. Everybody is involved. So the researchers, universities are equally doing a lot of work. But when you are talking about vaccines, it's not what you do. You sleep, you wake up, and you come out and you've gotten a vaccine. No, it goes through a lot of processes. Even when you have been able to produce a candidate vaccine, it has to go through tests. It goes through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and all this time are time bound. The minimum time you can start to production of a vaccine may be up to 18 months. So it's not something you just start and say, okay, I've gotten a cure. And even like we keep on saying, novel means new. It's a new infection. Before now, 6 months ago, there was nothing like COVID. But there have been other COVID in the past. SARS-CoV-2. Many of them came just this manner. And over time, vaccines have been developed. In a similar way, this one, researchers are working, institutions are working, and eventually, I assure you, government, the institutions in Nigeria will bring out something positive.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ntadom, for joining us on Dateline Abuja.
It's my pleasure always.
You heard from the expert there. Wash your hands as often as you can. Use a face mask, especially when you're in public, and maintain social distancing whenever you're in public. Let's continue the conversations online through the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also be sure to share anything happening within your locality. And don't forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. And remember to wash your hands as many times as possible. It's one of the ways to reduce your chances of contacting the virus. Thanks for watching. I'm Linda Kibe. Stay safe and see you next time.